Good morning. You should be awake by now because it's about 11:25 in the morning. So today is lesson 22, and I'm reviewing a lesson that I had taught previously this year. But when I was consulting Mr. Cagle about Algebra 2, I go, what's something that I could go over that they seem to have trouble with in Algebra 2? He said, writing the equation of a line always gives them trouble. So, I only have one example today, so that's good news for you, and this will be familiar to you. So, today is April the 30th. Wow, time has just flown by. So, I will give you the line, and you have to write the equation that goes with that line. So we're going to start out with the equation called point slope. Now, the reason it's called point slope is because those are the two things you need in order to use this equation. So I'm going to write the equation, but then I know that I'm going to have to find a point that's on the line, and I have to find the slope that's of that line too. So here we go. The formula is y minus y1 equal m parentheses x minus x1. All right, and so we have to find x1 and y1. We have to find a point that's on our line. I'm going to point those out to you. When you're reading a point, you have to go left and right first. If you were doing slope, you'd have to go up and down first. Okay, but we're doing a point, reading a point. So you're going to go right 1 and then down 3. So this point right here is 1, negative 3. Or you could look at it like this. I'm reading off the x-axis first, which is 1, and then I'm reading off the y-axis, which is negative 3. So if you're reading this point, you're going to read off the x-axis first. That lines up with negative 2. Read off the y-axis. That lines up with 4. Okay, so I'm going to just use one of those points, and it doesn't matter which one. You could use any point that lands on the line, and it would work. Okay, so my point that I'm going to use, I think I'm going to use this negative 2, 4. Let me erase some of this already so we can make a little bit more room. My point is negative 2, 4. Now, I've got to find my slope number. Now, you could find slope a couple of ways. You can count. But if you're going to count, you've got to go up and then over, or down and then over. So, you have to count up or down first. So, I'm going to count from this point up to that point. So, up 1, up 2, up 3. Up 4, up 5, up 6, up 7. Now, don't forget to throw in your sign. An up 7 is a positive 7 over. Now, you've got to count till you land on your point. Remember, you're right here because all you've done is count up 7. Left 1. Left 2, left 3. What's a left 3? Don't forget your sign. It's a negative 3. Now, there is another way to find slope. Now, I'm going to go ahead and show you that too. To find slope, you're going to need those 2 points right there. So, slope is going to equal y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So this is another way to find slope. You go, we already found it by counting. I'm showing you the formula way now. Okay, so y2, well, if we call this one x1, y1, then this one's x2, y2. So -3 minus 4. Subtract your y's over, now do your x's. x2, so this one's x2, so it's going to be 1 minus a -2. But what's 1 minus a -2? Well, that turns into a plus, and that gives you -7/3. And you go, that's what we had? Yes, because a positive over a negative is going to reduce down to just a negative number. So we're going to put the negative on top. So you can find slope by counting, or you can find slope by using the formula. Either way is fine with me. Now, go back and do what we were doing. We were writing the equation of that line right there. And that's how you do that, to write the equation. Before you write the equation, you have to find the slope and the point. Okay, and we've done that. So this y is the variable y. How did I know that? Because it doesn't have a number below it. That number is called a subscript, and it doesn't have a subscript there. So that's how you know that's the variable y. They have a minus, I have a minus. y1 is 4. They have an equal, I have an equal. We've already found slope. That was at -7/3. They have a parentheses, I have a parentheses. Bring down the x minus. x1 is the x coordinate, which is -2. Two negatives make a positive. Now, again, I say this all the time, Algebra 1 eventually takes over. Because you see parentheses, and I have drilled that. Parentheses, you have to do them first. How do you do parentheses? Multiply it out. What's that property? Distributive. So we're going to go back and do that. So what do you do with this? Absolutely nothing for right now, because you're focused on the parentheses. So -7/3 times x, just put it together. -7/3 x. -7/3 times 2. Now, you can type that in your calculator. I choose just to do it in my brain. I multiply the top numbers together and then the bottom numbers together. So -14/3. That's how you multiply fractions, straight across. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of work on that because you're trying to get this in y = mx plus b form. So you're trying to get your problem to look like that as far as your final answer. Well, hey, you're off to a good start. Y comes first. This number is out of sorts. It's in the wrong spot. It needs to go at the end behind your other number. Why? Well, because numbers add and subtract with other numbers if they're on the same side of the equation. So that's why you want to move it over. So you're going to go y = -7/3 x minus 14/3. Your -4 becomes a +4. Now, since numbers add with numbers, you're going to go y = -7/3 x. Type this into the calculator. And it's going to give you a decimal, I think it was like 0.6666 repeating. You know, I don't want that ugly decimal, not for this, I don't. You would hit math, enter on your calculator, and it would change it to a fraction. Okay, so that fraction is -2/3. Now, box in your answer for easy grading. Now, when we did this earlier in the year, I said, quick check it, see if it makes sense. Because we know this last number is called your y-intercept. It's where your line goes through the y-axis. So let's just see if we're in the ballpark. Look at where your line is going through your y-axis. Well, right here is -1. So somewhere between 0 and -1. Well, we just talked about this is a decimal of -0.6. So just a little past a half. I'm in the ballpark. Look, my y-intercept says my line should cross at -0.66 repeating, and it does. So okay, that's an easy check. Check the y-intercept. Okay, now I only have you 3 problems today. I know you're excited, and I say this in every video, but it's true. You're doing great, and you're almost done with AMI. I don't want to get your hopes up, but I think next Friday is the last day of AMI. So if you're checking your grades, I've got some of them posted, not all of them. I will continue to post them, go to the school, and but here's your 3 problems. Okay, so I found a worksheet that had them in it. So look, you're doing 25, 26, and 27 because they draw it better than I can. So I'm just going to hold the 25 and 26 up for a moment. Hopefully I've given you time to pause it so that you'll have to draw that graph. I guess you wouldn't have to draw the graph, just get your 2 points and just work it from there, right? Okay, now let me move over one more. So now there's 27. And what is this? Yes, this is what? Lesson 22. Okay, I hope this uploads. I've been having some technical difficulties. All right, listen, you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you sometime in person. But until then, enjoy your life, go fishing, jump on the trampoline, hang out with a few friends maybe. Be careful about that. All right, see y'all later. Bye.